It's an exciting days for Magic the Gathering fans because this is spoiler time for the new set, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, a big Wild Wild West set, which I'll admit at first I wasn't really too excited about, but once they start showing all these spoils, holy crap, it looks amazing. I don't know about you.
I'm liking some of the cards that they're revealing, and I'm loving the art.
Oh yeah, it looks great. So what we're gonna be doing in this episode, because I'm pretty sure you guys have been hearing all about it, is this is gonna be strictly EDH fashion. What cards will go in our decks, the 99, and what cards we would like to build as commanders. Your boy Tally here is going to go over the casual side, while Spit goes over this more CDH side. Let's get started here. Now, honorable mention that we wanted to go over is going to be Sword and Wealth and Power. We all know how broken it is. We all know it's going to be the best sword out there. We don't need to go over it because you probably heard it by like 20 million content creators. So we're moving on from that. First one that I wanted to go over is actually one of those spree cards. Final Showdown. 1 white instant. That's the neat thing about this card. It's an instant where it's going to be 1 white plus 1 colorless. All creatures lose all abilities until end of turn. So bye-bye ward, bye-bye indestructible, bye-bye all that crap. Another +1. Choose a creature you control. It gains indestructible to end of turn. So you get indestructibility. And then 3, 2 white, destroy all creatures. It's an instant speed board wipe that gets rid of annoying things like ward and indestructible. That is a great card.
And it gives something you control indestructible, so you can just pay the full, so this is 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
You pay the full 8, you give your commander indestructible and board wipe.
Yeah.
And you get rid of all other abilities.
I'm pretty sure that's going to go straight to my Eurotron, because I think that's what's really going to help out a lot is Tron decks. Because you only choose 1 creature to gain indestructible, and usually with Tron decks, it's just 1 creature that you're focusing on to stay on the battlefield, with the rest they could just go bye-bye.
Personally, I'm going to be putting this in all my CEDH decks that contain white, just because this shuts off Thassa's Oracle.
Yep.
This shuts off Thassa's Oracle. You can use it to shut down Ranger Captain of Eos. I see it as a white dress down at instant speed, just like not a permanent, like how dress down is.
Alright, next up, Spit.
So this is a card that's immediately going in my Voha deck, which at this time that you will have seen my Voha deck on the channel. But it's Selvala Eager Trailblazer. It's a green and white for a 4/5 elf scout with vigilance, and whenever you cast a creature spell, you create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token with tap. Target creature you control gains +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery, and it has tap. Choose a color. Add 1 mana of that color for each different power among creatures you control. So I mean, once you cast a creature spell after this is out, if its power is anything other than a 1/1, you already have three different powers on the board.
That's freaking gross. And the fact that, so at first I was thinking, with the Voha, you kind of could ignore the whole 1/1 red mercenary, but at the same time, you could tap all those red mercenaries to give your creatures +1/+0 to give them different powers, so that way you could tap for like freaking 20 mana. 20 mana in a Voha deck. Everyone already has an issue with Voha. Selvala literally buffed it. And oh my god, if I see that, that's going to be an immediate target. Like that. Besides Voha, that's literally going to be like, yeah, no, you're not going to have fun with this. That's dirty. But still pretty freaking good. Like I have to admit, it's going to be a great addition to your Voha.
Yeah, I'm going to love it.
So, next up, Double Down. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Whenever you cast an outlaw spell, which can be assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks, you copy that spell. You're copying Dockside Extortionist. You're copying Pitiless Plunder, sorry. I had a brain fart. Pitiless Plunder. You have 2 freaking Pitiless Plunders on the field. And when you sack something like a Grave Crawler, and you just do that combo, you're generating 2 treasures when you do that. Or even a reassembling skeleton. You're going to be generating 2 manas. Like, you're just going to go infinite just by doing that. Like, that's dirty. Like, that's a great card. Considering, like, the new set after Modern Horizons 3 is going to be the Assassin's Creed set. Or I don't know if it's the other way around. I forgot. But anyways, Assassin's Creed being all about assassins, mercenaries, most likely have pirates. These outlaw spells, this is perfect timing on Wizard of the Coast part. Like, honestly, when was the last time they had a perfect timing within set to set outside of when they actually had the 3 block sets?
I mean, in terms of like new cards, I can't think of a time. But in terms of like reprints and new cards, there's been a couple times. Like Wilds of Eldraine was really good about that.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. So next up, it's another spree card. And there you go.
So it's Insatiable Avarice. I don't know how to pronounce that last word, but it is a 1 black sorcery with spree. So for 2 additional mana, you get a essentially worse demonic tutor. And for 2 black on top of that, it's target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. So essentially it is better Read the Bones, or essentially on the same value as Read the Bones. Because Read the Bones is 2 black, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. And this is 3 black, draw 3 cards, lose 3 life. I see this being instant addition into mono black EDH decks, but I don't see this getting really much play in CEDH unless you're really wanting that extra tutor.
Yeah, I mean, it's too slow for CEDH, I do agree. Casual wise, even I wouldn't add it, to be honest with you. Like, I probably would spend a pretty penny on a Vampiric tutor. Like, just throwing it out there. So, I mean, it's not that bad. I do like the target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. I don't know about you, but I've won targeting other players with Sign in Blood. Yeah. That was the greatest win I've ever had, where they're just like, oh, I have 2 life. Once it gets to my turn, I'm going to end the game. No, you don't. Like, what are they going to do? Like, it's literally the greatest thing ever. It's just giving us a whole nother opportunity to pull that off. But, I mean, that's still just like a 1 in 100 of games that you're going to be able to pull something off. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a toss-up if I'm going to add it or not.
Something that I am noticing with all these spree spells is they all fall victim to mental misstep. All of them is just life counter. But the way I can see in this card being put into casual, I can see you putting it in your deck as a draw spell, but when you need it most, tutor. It's a really bad tutor, but I mean it's better than Diabolic Tutor. It's better than Diabolic Tutor, and people run that in their decks.
My question for the judges out there: can you cast this, or can you pay for the spree cost when you play this from your graveyard with such as like the sword that gives you Pro Bloom Black? I can't think of the name.
It's Truth and Justice?
No, that's blue and white.
Yeah.
It's the one that you surveil, and then you can play an instant or sorcery with CMC 2 or less for free. Like, I don't know if you're able to pay the spree cost on top of that, but I mean, If any judges out there,
have to, because these I would assume would be considered as additional casting costs.
Yeah, because people say it's basically just like kicker. Like, it's a new kicker.
I mean, everything's kicker. Everything's either horsemanship or kicker. That's just...
Don't steal things from other content creators. Alright, next up, what I'm really looking forward to, that I actually want to, like, I've been telling myself I want to build Yorick Landfall for, like, the longest time. I think this card is actually going to push it. The Gitrog Ravenous Ride. 3 colors, black, green. Legendary creature, Frog Horror Mount. 6/5, trample haste. Whenever the Gitrog deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a creature that saddled it this turn. If you do, draw X cards, then up to X lands, or then put up to X lands from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. Saddle 1. Imagine if I had this in a Yorick deck. I sacrifice a rampaging Baloth beast, whatever saddle with it, and I just keep drawing. And I keep putting lands out. And I have a Royal Elemental out. All your creatures will be mine. And I'm gonna love every second of it. As far as casual EDH goes, this one is just amazing. But I pretty much think all the Gitrog cards are amazing. Like, from the OG to this one.
I can see it getting... So, in casual, I can see this being played a lot. Also, not going to look over the fact that we got a new creature type, Mount.
The Mounts!
So now, whenever you play your... what's that 5-color creature that's the shapeshifter?
Oh, Morphon!
Yeah,
you call Mounts!
Yeah, you can name Mounts with Morphon now. And in CEDH wise, I can see this getting play in Blood Pod decks, because 5 mana 6/5, it puts you, it ramps you, and it's literally a 5 mana 6/5. That's all you need.
Haste.
It has trample haste. It's a 5 mana 6/5 with haste.
Oh, boom! Right there. Cool.
So the next card we're talking about, it's an instant Great Train Heist. It's 1 red with Spree. You pay the 1 red in addition to a 2 colorless and a red to untap all creatures you control at the beginning of this combat. At the end, no, if it's your combat phase, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. And you can pay an additional 2 creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn. And you can pay an additional red on top of that. Choose target opponent whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player this turn. Create a tapped treasure token. This is immediately going in Voha. Or my Tuya. This is immediately going in Voha and probably Tuya.
Would it be good in CEDH, or you think it's going to be a little slow?
I think that this would be... I think that if you're using it for just the first ability, this would be fairly decent in CEDH.
Yeah.
But like only decks that are gonna run it is like Bloodpod, Najeela, because Najeela will benefit off this. Like if that last ability said choose target opponent whenever creatures deal damage to this opponent, you get like I think it would be even better if it was like a clue token instead of a tapped treasure token.
Yeah.
Like you just or even like a power stone token.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like that's the thing that I'm gonna say that's kind of like stopping me from adding this in like Ural or like even Joyride or anything like that. The fact that it creates tapped treasure tokens. There are ways to get around it. You know, you do have Amulet of Vigor. You do have like other things that makes things come untapped, but you kind of have to add a card to do that. But I would say the first one though, it's an instant. And the first kicker cost, I think it's a great addition. Like I think it'll be a good one. All right, this right here that I'm going to be going over, I think besides Sword of Wealth and Power is the best card that's coming out of this set. The Key to the Vault, colorless or 1 colorless, 1 blue legendary artifact equipment. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast that exile card without paying its mana cost. Equip 2 colorless, 1 blue. I'm just going to say this right now. The fact that there's no restrictions on CMC. Like if it would have said that we could only cast the spell if CMC is lower than the power from the creature that swung, this card right here, hands down, is the best card coming from this set for casual EDH. I'm not sure about CEDH. Let Spit go over that. But as far as casual EDH goes, imagine this, Spit. You're playing your Ishai deck. You have this equipped. You swing someone with Ishai with just 1 power. So you look at the top. Oh look, it's an Omniscience. You literally just won the freaking game by top decking Heart of the Cards, being Yugi Muto, and just winning just from dealing combat damage. That is just broken. Like, honestly, I think this is, even though Jorah isn't a combat type of deck, it may go in there. I'm definitely adding this into my Aragorn allies, hands down.
I can see this being used extensively in CEDH, where, like, whenever you're running like a Bolas's Citadel combo deck, where you like, you could get this out like turn 3 and equip to a creature and just be digging through your deck, and then at some point you might just hit that that Bolas's Citadel, and then it's just, you just keep digging further and further into your deck.
Yeah, it's deadly. It really is.
It's immediately going in my Ashai deck, but
that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be so good in Ashai. Just imagine you winning, just right then and there. You're like, I'm a swing top deck. Omniscience! I win. You're like, okay. All right, next up.
So this is it's one of my favorite cards out of this whole set. It's Colossal Rattle Worm. It's 2 colorless, 2 green for a creature worm. That's a 6/5, and it has flash as long as you control a desert. It has trample, and it has pay 1 and a green to exile it from your graveyard. Search your library for a desert card and put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This is immediately going in my Tuya. This is immediately so. It's going to be turn 3 or sooner, hopefully. Get Tuya out with my 3 lands. Play my next land for turn. Play Colossal Rattle Worm. Hopefully I have a desert to flash it in just for combat. And swing and make Tuya's an 8/8.
His Tuya deck is just gross, by the way. If you guys haven't seen our first Commander gameplay of the channel, where he plays Tuya, it's just gross. Like, just get it away from me, gross. Alright, next up. In this one right here, I know people were kind of saying, like, kind of going back and forth on this one on X, formerly known as Twitter, which, by the way, we are on Unstable Commanders, or @UCommanders. Come follow us. We do monthly giveaways and all that fun stuff. This next card, Lava Spur Boots. It's a 1-drop artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste and ward 1 with equip cost of 1. So essentially, it's a slightly better Swifties. And the reason why I would say it's just slightly better, it does pump up your creature, and it gives it ward 1, so you still pay 1 to deal with it. But let's be real here. The amount of people who can't deal, or who can't even handle wards as itself. Like, the amount of people that were just like going at it with the term of ward when like Volha first came out, or any other card with ward that came out. I feel like these boots could actually replace these.
I'm probably going to put it in my Volha deck. So that way it's not ward 3, it's ward 4.
Yeah, it stacks. It does stack, by the way. Like, I actually got confirmation from a lot of people.
It would just be ward 3 and then followed by a ward 1.
Yeah. But it's I would say it's insane. And plus, the fact that, you know, it's one of those things you could actually search through Urza Saga as well. Just saying.
Which one? This is.
I think you want to do.
So, next creature we're talking about is Jolene, Plundering Pugilist.
Pugilist.
Yeah. It's 1, a red and a green for a legendary creature, human mercenary. That's a 4/2, which love the stats already. Whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures with power 4 or greater, create a treasure token and pay 1 or a red, sacrifice a treasure. Jolene deals 1 damage to any target. I'm saying that I could see this seeing play in CEDH just because, like, it's an infinite mana dump in the command zone through Dockside and Temur Sabertooth.
Yep.
You just win the game with Dockside and Temur Sabertooth.
Yep.
It's like also
because it has the colors, and plus, I mean, if you have it out, you can sacrifice the treasure and just ping people to death. Like it's actually pretty cool. Like it'll be a cool commander as well. Like both casual and CEDH, honestly, because I mean, even on the casual side, people still play Dockside Extortionist. People still play Nim Death Metal, the whole like Nim Death Metal Ashnod's Altar combo. So it's nothing new. Let's be real, guys. So Jolene, I feel like Jolene's could be a really good addition.
Yeah. Also, in a world where Orcish Bowmasters is a thing, this kills Orcish Bowmasters.
It does.
So,
It does.
I can support this entirely.
And an honorable mention, since it is the next one on the list that we're seeing through mtggoldfish.com, the new Crom. Why did they make him so bad compared to OG? And that's all I'm going to say, because we're just going to move on from there.
It could have been so much better. Could have been so much better.
Ball Smasher, the new Ball Smasher is actually pretty good too. Like, I like that one.
I like the new Ball Smasher, but
yeah. You got all these cool lands, which, I mean, I honestly don't really care too much about the lands. But the one thing that I am going to buy, that's right, wifey, buy when it first comes out, will be one of the precons. Which I actually like the fact that the precons here are only like $30, $35. That's what the precon should be.
It's more affordable for Magic community here where we are, instead of the $50, $60, $65, $70 for a deck.
Yeah, I understood it when it was like that when Deflecting Swat and all them came out, or the OG, the very first Commander decks came out that was like all Planeswalkers. The blue one had a Cyclonic Rift. They had all these great goodies in that one single deck. So I understood that. Or even the medallions. I believe all the medallions came out in that. Like,
there was one that came out that was Jeskai that had Dockside in it.
Oh yeah, it was I forget what it was, but I think it was like Commander 2017.
It was like 16 or 17.
Yeah, somewhere around there, and that's when Dockside Extortionist actually became a thing.
It is the cheapest precon out of all of them.
Yeah.
It is, because Dockside is $87 right now, as we are currently talking about this video, and the precon is $92.
So that really just pays for the box. But this one right here, what I actually want to do, and this is actually going to be the last 2 cards that we're going to go over before we're calling it. Stella Lee Wildcard is what I want to buy. And it's colorless, blue-red, legendary creature, human rogue. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, I should say, you may play that card. Tapper, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Activate only if you cast 3 or more spells this turn. Now, people already on X, formerly known as Twitter, have mentioned that you could go infinite with this, and I forgot what card it was, but it was from Walls of Eldraine. I gotta look it up again. But I mean, the fact that you could actually go in like 2 card infinite just from her, it's gonna be a neat spell slinger deck. And how I'm gonna build it is just gonna be complete utter shenanigans type of spell slinger. So it's not gonna be like 10 million counters type of spell slinger, because that's no fun. I'll probably only add like maybe 1 or 2 just to be like, I don't like that farewell you're playing. But yeah, like I think out of the 4 that's coming out, that's going to be my favorite one.
The one I'm probably going to get out of the precons is the Sultai one with Gonti Candy Inquisitor as the commander. So it says spells you control, spells you cast but don't own cost 1 less to cast whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player. Look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. I'm loving this card already. I'm already wanting to shove all the little 1-drop unblockable creatures in this deck.
Yep.
Just get in for damage, get a card off the top of your deck, and then hopefully I hit your Soul Ring and I just cast it for free. But
or you hit like people's win cons. Like I think this, because it says then exile it face down, you may play that card and it remains exiled. So in even a CEDH fashion, you play this, you play this turn 2 with like the whole like Jewel Lotus and stuff like that, and you swing and you hit someone with like the what is it called, Channeling Outcast or something like that, the Changeling that's unblocked. Yeah, Changeling Outcast. There you go. You hit with that. You hit 1. You look at the top card. What if that's a Thassa's Oracle?
And then all you're digging for is your Demonic Consultation, and then
or your own Demonic Consultation. You have it in your hand. You're like, oh hey, thanks man. Next turn, bop.
I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing with this commander, is just immediately turning it into like either higher power, or I'm just gonna go full send into a competitive format with it and see how it does in a competitive format.
Like, you got beat by your own deck, freaking stupid. And that's how the cookie will crumble. I mean, there's other cards out there that's really nice, such as Vault-Born Tyrants. You got all these cards coming in for the special guests and everything like that. It's really cool, like Mana Drain, for example. That's, it's for the collector side, it's going to suck because it's going to take the price. For players like us, we like it because it keeps the game affordable. Same thing with Topo Over and everything like that. So this is actually the very first set in a very long time that I am looking forward to. And I mean, I'm probably not going to buy a box because I'm kind of broke. But I'm not going to go to that. But definitely going to pick up the precon, the Spellslinger precon. Maybe pick up a key to the vault when it's still cheap or when it's coming out. Yeah. What do you guys think? What's your favorite card coming out of this set, and why is it the key to the vault? Now, if it's your birthday month, happy birth month. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.